right, next one we're going to talk about here. Very intriguing matchup because it's two teams who have played a little bit worse than what their record is, which you'd always rather have a better record and then be able to play your better football later. So we've got the 5-2 Jacksonville Jaguars going into Pittsburgh to play the 4-2 Steelers. We've got the Jags as 2.5 point favorites, and that total sitting right at 41. So, what are your first thoughts on this game?
Yeah, fun game. Very interesting game with two teams that are firmly in the mix here. Steelers are really, man, I don't know how they keep finding a way to win these football games. They're coming alive here late in these football games, third, fourth quarter, mostly just fourth quarter. Um, Having huge fourth quarters and coming back and sneaking in and really leaning on that defense to hold them through the game and make enough big plays to keep them around. Getting Mike Tomlin here in an underdog spot at home, we always like that. In a game that's going to be a little bit tough to predict, you kind of want to lean to the stuff that's been consistent for you before. And Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh is definitely something that's been consistent. Jacksonville on the road, something that hasn't been consistent. So that's one angle you can look at this game from. Both teams banged up as always. Steelers banged up in the secondary. Jacksonville banged up on the offensive line. Trevor Lawrence nursing a little bit of a knee injury still with that brace on his knee. But man, this game is interesting. If Jacksonville could get to a 6-2, and haven't even, like you said, haven't even played their best football with a chance to turn it on at some point, that could be a really dangerous football team. And then Pittsburgh, they need to rack up as many wins as they possibly can because they can't if the other team gets over what 22
22
points,
points. Yeah.
you know.
So under Matt Canada, I believe it's their 1-15 if the other team scores over 22 points. I like what you mentioned about the angles here because you could definitely look at this as like Jacksonville's been a little bit better of a team versus Mike Tomlin at home as a home underdog since 2010. It's 15-9 straight up.
Wow.
He's basically saying you can keep the points. We're just going to win outright.
Right.
So you've got that consistency out of the Steelers. But the big question here, do we think this Jags offense can go over 22 points? Because that's the mark that the Steelers just don't win if the other team goes over.
Zay Jones out. Not necessarily a huge thing. You still got ETN, you still got Ridley. Lawrence banged up, but man, this Pittsburgh defense is tough, man. Every time I think they're falling off, guys like TJ Watt,
Ali
Minka,
Highsmith, too, on the other end, has
get,
been killing it.
get a ton of pressure out of Highsmith. Always got guys like Minka Fitzpatrick back there lurking. This defense just always finds a way to get the job done. Nobody really scores that many points on them. You get the huge interception out of Watt last week. He's due for a game-changing play just about every week. So I don't necessarily give the Jags 22 points here. I do think this game ends up being tight. And if I gave out a pick, I'd lean Pittsburgh with the points. If you can get +3 at home, I feel like that's a really strong bet. Don't be scared if they go down 10 to 14 points. Maybe 14, you get a little nervous,
Get a
but
little scared.
6 to 10 points, we're not worried about that with this team. We've seen it happen over and over again. They're a team that fights, sticks around, and you expect a second half performance out of these guys. So, you got any maybe predictions on this game?
So it feels really weird to say that I think the Steelers moved to 5-2. I don't know that I'll quite get to the counter and bet it because I just don't look at this team and see 5-2. But the Jags started off the season slow and have been rolling. Once they went to London, got that London Jaguars and went 2-0. They've rolled and got four straight. It's so tough to put together 5, 6, 7 game win streaks in the NFL. It would definitely be a game that if I'm gonna bet, I'm gonna lean Steelers. I know you're gonna be shocked here, but as part of the Tease the League boys, I definitely think the Steelers and the teaser
Yeah,
teasing them up to +8.5
yeah.
would be pretty solid.
+8.5. If you wanted to push it out to the +9, if you're getting if it does go out to 3 and you get the +10, any of that stuff that's over a one possession, I'm almost calling that a lock here this week. Those guys at home, um, you don't really see them get blown out. That's going to be. That T spot's pretty guaranteed this week.
And once again, by that same token, you could even do the same game parlay teaser, where you're teasing the under up to like 48 and teasing the Steelers, because we let you know they do not win games where the other team scores more than 22. So if you think the Steelers are going to have a shot to win, that's a pretty good play, because more likely than not, if they win, it's going to be the Jags finishing with 22 or less points.
Shout out Canada.
Shout out my Canada.
You know it's bad when you get on college game day and you're trying to check out what's going to happen for the Saturday slate, and you're hearing "Fire Canada" because the game's going on in Pennsylvania.
Man, have you seen any of the Penguins hockey games and how loud the chants have been to fire Canada?
I think it's pretty safe to say they're fed up, and it's not. It's always been the Steelers' way to kind of do it all the right way, the respectful way, but and not fire guys mid-season. But I think they could probably part ways with Canada and see some more production somewhere else.
Completely agree. Very intriguing game, and one of these teams is going to come out and really, I mean, make a statement in the AFC by either having a 6-2 Jags team that would be on a perfect path to win that division and guarantee themselves a playoff spot, or a Pittsburgh Steelers team that moves to 5-2 when you need to be 5-2 in that brutal AFC North. And as always, thank y'all for watching these videos. Let us know. Do you think Old Sunshine gets a win in Pittsburgh, or do you think these terrible towels are going to be waving pretty heavy?